Hey, everybody. Hi. Oh, my goodness. It has been forever. But I am back with yet another collaboration with another group of amazing women. And this time, we're talking about mental health and what that looks like for us, right? A group of mothers, a group of women, strong, Black, independent women, right? And we're talking about mental health and what is that? What does that look like in your life or our lives for that matter? So I'm going to ask you guys to like and share. Click like and click share. I am going to share this video out because, of course, it never works in those 30 seconds that I'm trying to make it work. It does not work for me. So click like, click share, click like and click share. Here we are. There it is. Okay, so click like and click share. I am going to bring the authors on, and just for those that do not know, I am Makita Moore. I am the CEO of the Invisible Daughter LLC. We are a publishing and coaching company. I coach you through telling your story. I've been doing this now for about 4 or 5 years. My goodness. I also am the founder of the Art of Transparency Tour, and I said that my phone was going to go off. I thought I put that on silent, but I did not. So I am the founder of the Art of Transparency Tour and organization. They're gonna have to wait. And I've been doing that for about 5 years as well. It all started with that first book. So I am Makita Moore. I am the founder and CEO of Invisible Daughter LLC, a publishing and book coach company. So without further ado, let me bring in everybody. These are all of our authors. Welcome, 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 welcome. Hi, ladies. Oh my goodness, it was so amazing working with this group. I have been very lucky. I'm going to say that in working with amazing women in every single collaboration. Oh my goodness. And I want to say this is my eighth, eighth or ninth collaboration. I have lost count. So this is, I want to say 8 or 9 collaboration of Invisible Daughter LLC. So I am grateful to each and every one of you ladies. Thank you so much for accepting this collaboration. We'll get into your why in a very few minutes. So I am going to introduce to you as I see it on my screen. So I'm going to introduce to you, and I want you to tell us who you are and what you do. Miss Tawana Wilson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tawana Wilson. I am a health educator, and I am the owner of a company called Abilities Above, Bounds Beyond LLC, where we help people reach their unique superpowers. We offer consulting services. We also publish children's books with hopes to empower other families who have special needs children, um, and so that they know that they don't have to be defeated, with that diagnosis. I also offer tutoring, virtual tutoring for elementary school students, and also I wear multiple hats. So I also am a yoga teacher for middle school and high school students as well.
That is so awesome. I work in a school too with diverse learning students, so I totally understand that road. Oh my goodness, it can get hard, but it's so great. It's so amazing um, to give back, right?
Yes,
To know
absolutely.
that we're making a difference in the lives of those that need us is amazing. So thank you for all that you do. And my next author I'm going to introduce to you, she is Trina Rose Frazier.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Chandra Rose Frazier. I am the owner and operator of the Rose Center PLLC, which is counseling services provided to 12 and up. And I'm also a treatment director at a girls' home, a local girls' home. So I do treatment director right there. And currently working on partnerships with the local schools and stuff like that. So definitely trying to get back connected with the community and just some, honestly, some pro bono opportunities, believe it or not. So that's me.
Yay! Let me tell you, I believe in therapy, okay? I believe in therapy. So, yeah. So, I want to thank you for all that you do as well, because I know that that road it gets tough. It gets very tough as well. So, thank you. Thank you for being a part and thank you for all that you do. So, my next author, Miss Takia Gather Stuckney.
Hello, everybody. I'm Sakia. I am a retired educator. I started in middle school, Tawana, and ended my career in high school. So in the process of being a teacher, I became mommy. I became the counselor. I became all the things to children who just didn't have them anywhere else. Until my health told me otherwise and it was time to come home. So now I'll be moving my teaching arena, probably more in the lane of life coaching, but in the process of retiring, I became an editor and an author. So that's what I've been doing with my quote unquote free retiree time.
I like the free retiree time. Like, yeah, ain't no time free. We do not have free time.
Never.
If you are a creator, your free time is never free. Your sleep time is never for real sleep time.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, I get it. So I want to thank you for all that you do because being an author, myself, author of, I don't know, I honestly have lost count. I want to say I got about 12 or 13 books. Um, so being an author, I know how hard that is because you'll have writer's block sometimes, and then all of a sudden in the middle of the night, the whole chapter want to come out. Listen, I'm trying to sleep, and you want to. So I get it. So I want to thank you as well for all that you do, and then editing. I do that, and ooh, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's being an educator all over again. It is being an educator all over again. So I get it, and I thank you for all that you do. So my next author, oh my goodness, I don't remember no book that she wasn't a part of. Yeah. Oh my goodness, we have become great friends over the years, and she has been a part of, if not all, definitely 98% of them. So I want to introduce to you Latanya Willette.
Hello. As Makita said, this is our seventh collaboration together. No, seven is completion. I am a mother, and that's what made me get into this book because I am a mother. I'm a case manager. I'm a minister with a concentration with outreach, reaching out to the people that have mental health and are homeless. I'm a financial analyst, a business coach, and a life coach and an author. So wearing all those different hats, you do come across a lot of different people with different lifestyles, different spectrums of the areas of the spectrum. And I just want to be a solution to anyone, no matter how much you make or how little you make, whether you're have mental health issues or not. I just want to be a source that God can use.
That's so amazing. You know, as always, I always thank you for all that you do because you do wear a lot of hats like many of us do. And it gets real crazy. The more hats, the crazier it gets. And I think sometimes we might be a glutton for punishment because we take on all of these hats and we wear them so well that we forget to kind of put one down and then pick up another one. You know, we just wearing a whole bunch of them at one time. So I thank you. I truly thank you for all that you do in the community. Financial analysts and financial literacy is so important. Like, oh my goodness. I tell people right before I bought my house, I didn't even know what a credit score was, and nor did I care. So all of that goes into your financial, right? So to know is a great thing. So thank you for educating those that don't know, and those that do know. Thank you for educating us as well. So thank you. Um, so my next one, you'll see me look over here because I got notes. My next author is Miss Rhiansel Smith. Am I saying that right? I hope so. You on mute.
Oh, thank you. Yes, you're saying my name correctly. It is Rhiansel. Thank
Yay.
you. Thank you. Hi, all. Again, my name is Rhiansel Smith. I am a licensed graduate social worker. I work in Washington, D.C., serving the homeless population with mental health and substance abuse challenges. I am also the creator of the virtual Soul Sister Circle. That's sister with a TAH. It's a monthly support group that I've started for women of color. I launched it back in December 2000, and now it has reached over 300 women of color. And we discuss issues that are relevant to us women of color. And that could range from self-care, development, personal development, fitness, healthy eating, etc. I also have a blog called Endure to Empower, which focuses on mental health awareness and trauma recovery. And I am also the member of the First Generation World Changers Club, which mentors first generationers from all different backgrounds. So I am extremely passionate about mental health, which is why I became a mental health social worker and advocate.
Wow, we're talking about hats. Yeah, that's a lot. But I bet you wear them to the point where you don't even realize that you have all of those, do you?
No, it's like when you're passionate about something, you don't even see it as work. It just
I can
flows.
see that.
It's a ministry, and I feel like I'm just so grateful to God to be graced with this gift to be able to touch lives and help others come out of their crisis circumstances.
Wow. Well, my hat is off to you, and I want to personally thank you for all that you do in and out of the community. Thank you so much for being who you are. We got a few comments. Let's get to the comments, and then we will move to our last author. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've been knowing her forever. So we got congratulations, ladies. Such a great topic for a book. I am so proud of my friend Rhiansel. Come on, Rhiansel, with the people. Yay, Rhiansel. Precious says yes. And Anitra says yes. It's so natural and it takes God's grace. Truly, absolutely, it does.
Oh, thank you, guys.
And then we've got some really cute emojis there. And then hashtag my soul sister. Okay, now. So the last author of this evening is my sister, Chandra Nicole. Hi, Chandra. Oh my goodness. So tell us who you are and what you do.
Hey everybody, my name is Chandra Nicole. I am a nurse by day. I am a mother, author, speaker, mentor, and mediator. I am the founder of a support group for moms with teen daughters called Urban Mom Society. I just launched a sip and chat series for moms where we meet monthly and talk about different mental health issues and things of that nature. And I started the Urban Mom Society because when I was going through with my daughter, I so badly wanted a support group. People don't, really understand, the things that you go through, and you can vent to your family, your friends, but, just to have that connection with moms that are going through the same thing, that community makes a difference. So I wanted to create a community for moms to feel supported when they go through challenges with their children. That's
I
what
absolutely love that.
Mhm.
Um, and your sip and chat just started what this month? Well, no, because this is
Well, October.
November, so it was
Yeah.
October.
Our next
It was
sip and
October.
chat is November the 27th.
Yes, yes. So we have a Chicago and Memphis sip and chat. I host the Chicago version of her sip and chat because she was in Chicago and she moved back to Memphis. So I host the Chicago sip and chat. Same night, we do the same thing, and then we get on Zoom and we share our thoughts. This last one was the Mary J. Blige documentary. So we watched the movie and then we talked about it, right? We talked about it in depth. Like, what do you think? How does your life mimic, right, the life of Mary J? So it's amazing, right? And I am connected to most of you all in a different way. So I want to thank you, Chandra, for all that you do for us moms, because sometimes, most of the time, we need it. We need it. So these are the authors of A Mother's Fight or Flight, A Journey of Mental Health. And the title, so when I put up a post, because again, all of these ladies met me or joined the book on Facebook or Instagram. And the reason I wanted to do this is because, just like Chandra said, so many mothers, right? We go through so much. And I wanted to give us mothers an outlet. So when I put up the post, it was just, if you are a mom and you have, either suffered through mental illnesses or your kid has suffered through mental illness, we want to hear about it. And the outreach was amazing. They wanted to know, they wanted more information on it, what it was going to be like. And these are the ladies that the Invisible Daughter LLC chose. So I thank you guys for choosing us, first of all. And I want to thank you all for being a part of A Mother's Fight or Flight. So, of course, here comes the juicy part. Tell me, or tell us rather, what made you join this book collaboration? Like, because nobody knew the title until I think it was 2 weeks or 3 weeks in, because this took a little time to get it up and going. So nobody knew the title. We just knew what we were going to talk about. So tell me, what made you join this particular collaboration? And have you been a part of a collaboration prior to this? I am going to start with Tawana. Are you still with us? Yes. Yay.
I can say when I first I saw it on Facebook, and I saw mental health and I saw moms. And before I even knew anything about it, I was like, I need to know what that's about. Like, and so I reached out and found out more about it, and I was like, yeah, I want to be a part of it. Anything with the mental health that I see, it really hits home for me, especially having a family that has had a lot of challenges with mental health, even before my own was even identified within myself. So it was like a call to action. That's what I'm going to say. When I saw it, it's like I feel like God was speaking to me and saying, it's time to open up your mouth and use your voice. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm being challenged in every way. When even starting to, write for this collaboration, it got really challenging, because I'm like, it made me start thinking about a lot of things. And like, I'm starting to dig back to like years and years ago that I didn't even know was still a challenge. But yeah, when I saw mental health, yeah, that was my call to action.
I've heard that before, right? Because
and my babies are watching. That was key. My babies are watching. I needed them to see their mom be strong.
Yes, absolutely. We'll do it. for anybody else, we definitely do it for them. So a call to action. I like that. I like that. It was use your voice, right? Because so many of us have lost our voice along the way. So to use your voice, a call to action. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Latanya, you are up next. Tell us what made you join this particular book collaboration.
I wanted to join this book collaboration because you spoke about it being mental health and being a mother. And I did go through that with my son. I've been through mental health issues as well. And like she said, if you are blessed to be able to get to the other side, you have to. It is your duty that you must help walk someone else through this journey. Because a lot of times people don't even think about it. You can see in the news when our people have mental health challenges and issues, or they're aggressive, and so what? Whereas with other nationalities, they have mental health issues. Oh, let's take our time. Let's make sure they're okay. And that's not fair. So something has to be done to bring awareness, but then also whether someone else does something or not, it is our duty to grab our sister, our brother by the hand and say, this is how you can get through this. You can get through this. Because even our culture wants to say, well, oh, you're crazy. They don't think about when you said therapy and things of that nature. It's a stigma, taboo to it. Well, we have to let people know, no, it's not taboo. It's not a stigma. There's nothing wrong with you. People are battling this every single day. It just all depends on what level they're battling it on. And yes, you can get through.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. Working in a school, if therapy was never needed before, it's needed now. Oh, that's a subject for another day. I think I'm gonna do my collaboration on educators and people that work in the school, because yeah. So thank you for that, because I absolutely agree. It is our duty to reach back and say, hey, come on, I've been there, I've done that. Come on with me. It's okay. You can get through it. You got to want to get through it, but you can get through it. So absolutely, I love that. So I'm going to go with Miss Rhiansel. What made you join this particular book collaboration? You're on mute. It's this mute thing. It's that button.
No, I'm acclimating. I'm acclimating. When I saw this project on Facebook, it really spoke to me. It resonated in my spirit in such a way where the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, there's power in your testimony. And I did not go through what I personally went through and with my own family members to keep my story to myself, because there's so many people suffering in silence. And what I wanted to do with my own story was not only increase awareness, but let other people know that there's different faces to mental health. I don't look like what I've been through. And I wanted to let people know that you can be undefeated by a mental health diagnosis, and that mental health does not discriminate. It can hit anyone, and that there is hope and healing is possible. So I just wanted to tell my story because I felt that in a way it was therapeutic for me, being that healing from mental health or trauma or anything is an ongoing journey. And I feel that there is power and there's transformative power in telling one story. And so that's what I wanted to do. And I wanted others, especially those of minorities, to be empowered to take control of their own mental health, because it's real and it's very prevalent in our community. So it's time that we break the silence and begin to dismantle the stigma that keeps a lot of people from getting help.
That part. It's a stigma. Latanya, you said it too. It's a true stigma, because I can remember growing up and and even right now today, and I'm 44. I actually showed my mother the book cover, and I was like, this, because it came and she was at my house. So when the book was delivered to my house, I showed my mother the book cover, and she was like, everybody want to be into mental health. Everybody want to talk about mental health. And I just was like, Mom, you need a therapist too. Just so you know. You need one too, because you're evil. I mean, because she's she's gotten older and she has turned because she's stuck in her ways, and that's fine. But mental health is real and therapy is real too. And I need you to understand that you can go to therapy. But we bump heads, and I can remember growing up and my mother was like, what happens in this house stays in this house. And I remember telling my kids that, like, what happens in this house stays in this house. But now the younger two kids, they in therapy. Why? Because you never know. They going through a lot at school. They going through a lot. Now home life for me, it's great, right? But we don't know what they feel, right? Dad is not around, so we don't know what they feeling for real. So I would rather them go to therapy, get it out, so you don't lose your voice. I don't want them to be voiceless children, so I allow them to go to therapy. I don't have no problem with paying for therapy. None. I'd rather pay for therapy than buy gym shoes. Okay. That is going to help you. Them gym shoes gonna get too little. Let's go to therapy. So yes, I absolutely agree with that. We got a few comments, and we are going to get to those. We had somebody to go out. Okay, comments. I don't know why it's not showing up. So the next comment is, my children, adults now, suffered my bad marriage. It weighs on many aspects of our choice to silently move forward. I believe that. Like, our children watch us kind of suffer sometimes, and we don't know the effect that really has on them. And then you better say it, says there's power in your testimony. Absolutely. I absolutely believe that. Suffering in silence is real. Communities of color are disproportionately underutilizing services and resources. I should have put my glasses on. I knew I was going to be reading. This one says hashtag break the silence. Our mental health has to be a priority. It affects every area of your life, and it affects the body. Absolutely, it does. So many people are physically ill due to emotional stress. Hi, I was her. And this one says facts. Yes. Last one. Yay, I'm so happy to hear that we are allowing our kids to talk to therapists. Absolutely. And so one of my babies, he's actually my grandson. He is 12, and my daughter is 10. No judgment. And absolutely, I have them in therapy. Yes, because I go to therapy. I go to therapy. So, and I can remember being 10. I can remember being 12. I think I probably should have went to therapy back then, but of course, my generation, what happens in this house stays in this house. You are not about to go tell my business to nobody. It was about my business. Like, my business can't be out there. So absolutely, therapy is needed. So my next author, Takia, can you tell us what made you join this particular book collaboration?
So this one struck me a little bit different because when I saw the topic and it was moms and mental health, I didn't know if it was, if you lived with a mother that had mental health, but concerns. But in my case, I was the mother that had the mental health issue. And so I suffered depression for a really long time, never paid it. Half the time was in denial. The other half of the time, after I realized what it was and how to deal with it, went forward to get help, and I couldn't. So I wanted to see a therapist and couldn't find one. And it all came to a head postpartum. And because I had anxiety and depression, but I'm normally, I'm a pretty emotional, a high EQ person. I can hold it together in the middle of everything else can be falling apart. I will still have the same face and say, oh, okay, and move on to the next thing. And so because I wasn't in the doctor's office falling out and just visibly and outwardly depressed or anxious, and I wasn't suicidal and I wasn't going to harm the baby, I couldn't really get any help. I had to pray my way through it and read my way through it and have some long talks with Jesus to come through it. And so, at the end of the resolve, it was, you can have Jesus and therapy, because part of what I
say
went
that
through,
part again. Don't go back.
you can have Jesus and
Yes,
therapy.
you can.
He made the therapist. He has blessed people with the gift of counsel. They are there for a reason. And what ended up happening, you grow up and people tell you, oh, therapy is for crazy people. No, therapy is for sane. It keeps you sane. And part of what I went through in the beginning was because that was what was on the back of my mind. I'm not crazy. I don't need a therapist because therapy is only for crazy people. Not realizing that had I went, I would have been able to come out of it a whole lot sooner. But be that as they may, I'm here now. I overcame it. And earlier this year, I started writing in the middle of all of that. And at the end of it, it was a Bible study workbook that I generally wrote myself through. And so I put it out earlier this year. So when I saw the topic come up, I said, well, now I can actually tell the story that goes with the workbook, because the workbook just said, this is what I went through. And it's little snippets here and there. But this was the space where it gave me that thing to say, this is how it all came to the head. So yes, I overcame it. This is where it started. And if this is where you are, you can overcome it too.
Absolutely. Wow, that's good. That is good. I absolutely love you can have Jesus and therapy. Absolutely, because me and Jesus, we talk a lot. I talk to him a lot, but I'm going to talk to my therapist too. I talk to my therapist about Jesus, and I talk to Jesus about therapy. So yes, you can have them both. Chandra, tell me what made you join this collaboration.
Well, of course, we're Facebook friends, and I've seen like all of your projects come down my timeline, and none of them jumped out at me more than this project. It was important. I'm an author, so I've written a couple of books already that were other focused. This book was me focused. It was focused on me being accountable for me, So it was important for me to be in this book because I'm trying to show my daughters and help them move through shame, because shame is a very heavy thing to deal with, right? So I didn't want them to ever feel like whatever I went through, whatever we went through collectively, that they have to be shame about it. So me using my voice in my story helps me teach them to ask for help. When you're going through, when things are dark and you can't find your way through, it was just important for me to share my voice so my daughters can know how to ask for help, pretty much. Because so many times we are dealing with guilt and shame about whatever we're going through, and we never ask for help. So our children don't know how to ask for help.
Absolutely.
And so that was important for me to show my girls that, hey, you can't do this alone, and you shouldn't do it alone. And there are therapists, Jesus, friends, family. There is support for you, and there's a community just for you. You have to find your people so you can start the healing process. So that's why I joined this book project.
I started writing, and I tell people this because so many times we start writing for all kinds of reasons. Chandra, like you just said, you started writing for your children, your girls. I started writing just to out my daddy. Like, you wasn't there. Let me tell the world how you wasn't there. But in that, I found me. I found a voice. I found peace. I found, I found therapy then too. I'm going to talk about therapy a lot because I think you should go. Like, I think therapy is the key to healing. Will you heal without therapy? You probably can, but it's so much easier to just talk to somebody. But I found a lot when I started writing. So that's why I do a lot of these book collaborations, because my first book told the story. There's more of the story, absolutely. But now let's break this story down. Each one of my collaborations deals with some portion of the story. And mental health for me was about depression and PTSD and things that we don't talk about in the Black community. We don't talk about it, and we're suffering. And I no longer want to suffer in silence. I don't want my counterparts to suffer in silence. We have a voice, and it is time for us to use it. So, Trina, tell us why you joined this collaboration. Did you go? I'm so, I get lost.
No, saving the best for last.
Come on, girl.
Okay, guys. So honestly, for me, just kind of keep it brief. It was definitely a conviction for me. This has been an ongoing process for me trying to understand me and my mom's relationship, and it's still going on. So this is kind of like scratching the surface for me. I had a professor in grad school or post grad that told us that if you don't take care of your own ish, it'll keep showing up in your door. I'm a private practice counselor. Just imagine what issues are showing up at my door. So it keeps happening. So you came at a time when it was like, okay, you have to at least start. So this is start for me on approaching that relationship in a more positive and effective way, because it was just more or less being in survival mode, and I just shut down. And honestly, this is to the point where we're not talking. And so honestly, mine is a little bit more unique because no one is informally diagnosed with anything, but I can see it. Oh, yes. And so my approach is more or less about the generational curses that are associated with the diagnosis and how it has been passed down from people who I've never met in my life. And unfortunately, I had to be the catalyst, and I have a 19-year-old who has a baby. So it kept going and going, and I said it has to stop. So this was a project for me, more of a passion project, to try to figure out, just get an understanding. I feel like the first step is awareness. I know there's an issue. The second step is understanding. And so now I'm better able to approach it, and I'm actually better able to really engage with my mom. And so that's the benefit that I got if I get nothing else out of this. It's just an understanding that it may not have a label, but you see it. And so that's where I'm at with it. So it's been helping me out a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because even when I was an educator and a coach, mommy issues, it was just always coming at my door. I'm trying to teach you science. Why are we talking about your mama? So it was
that is so true.
Yeah, so it's so helpful for me just to get in a better space. And even after this, it's kind of cathartic for me. So if I go nowhere else, I'm still able to engage with her. And I don't just necessarily love her. I actually am able to like her more because I feel like I'm able to understand her better. So hopefully this will help other people as well.
That's right there. Like I said, I did the father thing, right? Like, and we had a great relationship for a while, like a great relationship for a while. And then some things happened, and the communication got all mixed up and messed up. So we don't talk as much as we used to. But I, I'm still a daddy's girl, and I love my dad to life. I don't say to death. I think that is so bogus. But I love my dad to life, but I can still see, right, the differences. I can see the differences in me and my brothers. So I'm still the invisible daughter. I'm tired of that. But I get it now, right? I understand him more. And it's no longer depressing. It's more like, okay, you are who you are. I am who I am. And we just going to move on from that. So I again, ladies, I want to say thank you for joining this collaboration, because each of us, our stories are very unique, very different. And then Trina, you said something. You said breaking the generational curses. The book prior to this, right before this one, was generational curse breaking. Like we are. I think the title is "It's Me." The generational curse breaker, or the breaking of, no, it's me, the breaking of the generational curse. That's what it was. Because there are so many things, right? All of this, again, when I tell you each one of my titles are kind of, they go into each other, and it's no sequence like this had to come first and this has to come first. No, it's just, this is what it is. So let's break each of these down and talk about them individually. I've had some authors to come back and do 1 or 2 or 3 books. LaTanya has done, I want to say 98% of them. But then I've had new authors, right, to tell new stories and get that freshness. But each story is different because I remember having a conversation with Latanya, and she was like, "Well, no, I don't know because I don't want people to think that I'm in every book." I said, "But it's a part of your life, right? Each book is a part of something you've gone through." Um, I'm working on her to get her real book, like her book, her book, because it's so much of her story, right? These are only snippets. It's only a chapter. You can't tell the whole story in a chapter. Um, so I absolutely commend all of you for telling that snippet, right? Because again, you probably had to go back in the archives a little bit and talk about some stuff that you have kind of, I don't even want to call it swept under the rug, but you've kind of gotten away from, right? And now you got to pick that up and relive it or hash it out again. So I do commend all of you on that. And thank you for your obedience to say, you know what, I'm going to talk about this. This is something I need to talk about. So thank you for talking about it. So we got some comments. This one says, Tia sounds very functional. We rise. Absolutely. I'm so happy you sought out the help you needed and found it. Life-changing. Break the silence. Hashtag life-changing. Hashtag break the silence. Because that's huge too. Having a voice, right? We talk about this voice a lot, but there are still people that's like, yeah, you need a voice, but they don't say anything. I don't know if they've lost their voice or they're afraid of what other people may say when they start to talk. So to you guys in the audience, don't be afraid of what other people have to say. Because my favorite saying is pay a bill. Pay a bill. Pay a bill. If you can pay a bill, then I can possibly worry about what you got to say. Other than that, I mean, they talked about Jesus. You will be okay. But you have a voice, right? So I'm going to ask every author and if you know your chapter number, I don't know if everybody knows their number, but what is your chapter number if you know it? Because it's a big book, y'all. It's 7 authors. What is your chapter number and what is the title of your chapter? And I'll go around the way that you guys on my screen now. Rhiansel, what is your chapter number and what is your title? You got it.
See, I'm learning. I'm not certain of my chapter number, but it is titled Undefeated by a Mental Health Diagnosis.
Okay, so let me pull it up. Oh, where's that? Okay, you are chapter 4.
Chapter 4. Okay.
Chapter 4, and you said it is undefeated by a mental health diagnosis. I love that. Tawana, what's your chapter number and what's your chapter title?
My chapter number is 2, and the name of my chapter is Scratching the Surface of Wounds, How a Mom Utilized That Blue Life for a Healing Breakthrough to mental health.
Yes, I love it.
And the blue is an acronym
What's
for
the
building.
acronym for?
It's building, learning, and understanding every day. So that's just something that I use in every part of my life. It's just a process. And you build upon
understanding
everything, every day. Every day.
Okay. Every day. Okay. I like that. Takia, what is your title? What is your chapter number and your chapter title?
I am chapter 5, I believe, and it's called Faking the Function.
Faking the Function.
Mm-hmm.
I remember reading that like, oh, that's cute. That's cute. Yep. Chapter 5, Faking the Function. Trina Rose, what is your chapter number and your chapter title?
I am chapter 6, and my chapter title is simply Perspective Matters.
Perspective Matters. I remember reading that like, ooh. Just so everybody knows, I do not read the book until it's actually a book. Like I don't read their titles. I send it off to an editor because I want to read the book just like everybody else reads it. Um, so I've been asked, well, how do you know what chapter to put where? And the real answer to that is I just put them. I do. I just put them because I want to read the book like everybody else, and I can't say, well, this needs to go after this chapter because it's 7 different authors with 7 different stories. You'll never get them to go together because what if chapter 1 and 2 go together, but 3 and 4 is completely off? So I just put them. You know, I used to draw straws for real. Now I just kind of whoever sends theirs in, that's who's going next. I know, y'all, but the book reads well. Just so you guys know, I have read it since it's been a book, but I do not read it prior to it being an actual book. Chandra, tell us your chapter number and your chapter title.
I am the last chapter in the book. I think I'm chapter number 7, and my title is Pushing Through in Spite of.
Yeah. Man. Chandra has a hashtag. Well, she uses it often. She has a hashtag pushing through. And let me tell you, you know, sometimes you gotta, it takes a lot to push through, but you have to keep going. So push through. You just, and I can hear Chandra saying that to me sometimes, like, push through. We're not doing that. We got to push through that, sis.
Because life is always happening, you know, and it's something we can't do anything about. So you just pick yourself back up and you keep going. You know, once you got breath in your body, it's a new day. What they say, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. I get up looking for my joy in the morning. You know, I don't care what today brought today, but tomorrow there's joy. And so that's what I live by, just pushing through. Keep pushing through. Mm-hmm.
My goodness. Latanya, tell us your chapter number and your chapter title.
I'm chapter 3, and the title is The True Journey of Unconditional Love.
Man, let me tell y'all, audience, I don't know if you got the book, but I'm going to need you to reach out to whomever is your friend, sister, cousin, mama, uncle, auntie, brother, whatever. Reach out to them. Get this book. Even if you feel like you have not suffered, right, a mental health issue, get the book so you can, if nothing else, understand the person you got the book from, right? Understand their thinking and understand why they move the way they move and why they do some of the things that they do, because honest and true, it's because of what we've been through. Like everybody on here has said something to the effect of, I don't look like what I've been through, right? We can smile, we have joy, all of that, because we went through some stuff. We went through, though. I used to tell people all the time, and I still do. The only way to get through is through. You gotta, it's through. Mm-hmm. Like the train go in the tunnel and it get dark. The train don't stop. The train don't turn around. Train keeps going because the train knows that this tunnel is going to end, and it's gonna be light at the end of the tunnel, right? Same way with life. We can't turn around and go back. We gotta keep moving. So get the book. I promise you, get the book. Get the book. Contact either one of us and get the book. My chapter is chapter 1. And my title, I always get it wrong, is The Flight Was for My Son, but the fight was for me. So I'm telling y'all, get the book. So I'm going to start this next question off, and then I'm going to let the other authors answer. What do you want people to take away from your chapter in the book? I want you to take from my chapter, finding you is often wrapped in trauma. It's often wrapped in trauma. It took a long time for me to see who I was, what I was doing. Like I remember partying and drinking and just not just being this wild person until I took some time to really realize who I was. I moved away from all of my family, trying to save my son. That's why I say the flight was for my son, but the fight was for me. I moved away from Chicago trying to save my son, and all the whole time God had a plan. Like, nope, I'm really about to save you. You don't even understand that I'm about to save you. When I moved, I found myself. I found my voice. I found out that I had been acting, as we mothers say, I had been acting out. Right? I was, like I said, partying, drinking, smoking, acting out. Like if you wanted to know what a party was, call Makita because she was going. And I'm not saying it's anything wrong with partying, but that's just not the life that I really wanted to live. That's not what I really wanted to do. And just being honest, I use sex a lot to kind of cover some scars. Um, so to take away from my chapter, I need you to know about flight and fight because there was a flight and there definitely was a fight to get to know who I was. And I'm sure it's so relatable. It's very relatable because a lot of times we use different mechanisms to kind of cover the scars and cover the trauma instead of healing. So I was coping and not healing. So that's my spiel. So I'm gonna go backwards this time. Latanya, tell us what you want the readers. I was going to say viewers, the readers to take from your chapter.
Okay, let me suck my tears back up in. Woo, baby. Okay. From my chapter, I want them to take away that you have to have unconditional love. If you have a loved one that is going through mental health issues, and even for yourself, because my sister was the one who loved me through mine. And in the book, I tell about how I helped my son through his. And so you have to have unconditional love because there's going to be some things that you are not going to understand, especially if you've never been through it before. You're not going to understand it. It's going to be a hard road, a hard journey. There may even be people that don't even help you, even if they're in that field. You know how it is where people are in certain fields and they have a job to do and they chose that field, but they still don't do what they're supposed to do to try to help you. And you're just out in the wilderness, and don't let it be that you've never seen it before. You won't even know where to go for help because you don't know. You have not seen it. You don't understand what it is. So, but and even when you do, it's still going to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to love them through. Because only but for the grace of God goes you in that same situation. And if there's no one there to love you through and to try to understand and to try to walk with you, that's why you end up with suicidal thoughts. That's why you end up with people killing themselves and on the news and things of that nature, or snapping on other people. Sometimes sometimes just like they said, you have to have therapy and God. Because sometimes all it takes is to lay some hands on them. And sometimes all it takes is just hold a person in your bosom and say, I'm with you. It's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what they need.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Oh, I agree. I went to an event yesterday really quick, and then we'll get back to the authors. And one of the speakers said, you know how you go and you just ask all your friends and you ask people, well, how you doing today? And how you doing today, girl? Hey, girl, how you doing? She said she asked one of her friends, hey, girl, how you doing? And she actually was like, I'm not okay. And she put all of that on her. And she was, and the panelist was like, do you understand how I was not ready to receive that? That's what that is. To hold somebody in your bosom means you're ready to receive what they got to give you. you. You don't have to take it in, right? You don't have to engulf it, but you got to be ready for it because they're looking for you to say something other than, oh, okay, for real? Oh, okay. They need you in that moment, right? Um, Even if it's just to say it's going to get better because you don't know what to say. Just don't be like, oh, okay, yeah, No, that's not gonna work, y'all. So I said that to say we have got to hold our friends and family a little bit closer and a little bit tighter than we have been. And when we ask the question of, "Hey, how you doing?" we got to be ready for the answer because it may not be, "Oh, girl, I'm okay." That might not be the answer. um, So, Chandra, going backwards, Chandra, tell us what you want them to take away from your chapter.
What I would like someone or a mom to take away from my chapter is to find a way to release shame. Shame is like a cancer to your soul, and you will drown in it if you don't ask for help. And, to be honest, some of us don't have the help. We don't have the family members, like several of the moms said, most of our family members are struggling just like we are, so it's important that you find someone that you can talk to. And if you can't talk to nobody else, talk to God, because there were days I didn't have anyone to talk to, and God is there 24/7. So be vulnerable, allow yourself to release it, and talk about it. That was the start of my journey. I remember when I wrote my first book, because I've been telling my story since my first book. I was so choked up, like tension, like trauma is in your body. I couldn't even speak. When I began to speak about my trauma, it was like a rock in my throat. So it is very important that you use your voice. It's very important that you start to share. It's going to free you. Use your voice. Write it down. If you are not comfortable with using your voice and sharing your story yet, if it's too much, if it's too heavy, write it. Write it. Put it on paper. Read it. You got to dance with it. You got to get in the ring with it. It's yours.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed. It's people out here look just like you and me, and we in this together. So no shame.
That's deep there. We have comments. This one says, I can't wait to get my copy. Yes, get your copy. And it's not just for women, just so everybody is very, very aware. This is not just a woman's book. This is not. Men have trauma, drama, mental health issue. We all have it. So it's not just a woman's book. I want to be very clear with that. Larry say, yes, baby, talking to Latanya. Yes. And then we got some cute emojis. So it's not just a woman's book. So even if you don't read it, just one of us, whomever your friend, sister, cousin, auntie, all of it, right? Get the book to support them. If nothing else, support, because we need that. So Trina, tell us what do you want people to take away from your chapter in the book?
So for me, the thing is, I found myself having to wrestle with what the truth was when I realized that the truth is based on perspective. So you have multiple people with different perspectives, and so you end up in a gridlock situation because this is my truth based on my experience, but I can't discount someone else's truth because that's their truth based on their experience. So a lot of times healing is stunted because we get caught up on trying to prove our truth to other people instead of simply accepting our own truth and then moving past that. So that's what my chapter was about. It's like I want to get past the taking things personally Because honestly, that's what I realized. It wasn't personal. It really had nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? And that's where perspective comes in. So for me, that's what it was about. Just understanding. Once I got past that point of being, taking it personally and just worrying about woe is me and start trying to understand how someone that you feel like loves you can still act in those ways. See, that's the issue for me. So this journey for me was trying to understand that part, and perspective was a big deal. So that's the word that kept kind of ringing around in my head. Every time I was trying to come up with a title, it was like perspective. So I was like, keep it simple. Perspective matters. And so that's it. I think everybody, I want to encourage you guys, whoever's listening, whoever gets it, just to understand that your perspective does matter, but so does someone else's perspective. So instead of trying to prove whose perspective is more important or more valuable, simply try to get to a point of understanding it and then move from there. And so that's where I'm at this point.
Thank you. That's huge because it is about perspective. Perspective. Your perspective might not be my perspective. So that is absolutely it. Takia, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say what you was gonna say, Trina.
It's rarely ever is. That's the problem. So we too busy like stuck in that spot of trying to prove my truth to you, and it's literally my truth. You know what I mean? So I think we get past that, then you get a little bit closer, get to the healing a little bit faster if you get past that.
Yeah, agreed. I agree with that. Takia, tell us what you want people to take away from your chapter.
My takeaway that I would want people to get is that it's okay to not be okay, but it is not okay to stay not okay. And so you cannot be okay, and that's fine. Admit it, own it, and then do what you need to do to get to a place where you can be okay. Because when you are walking around functioning in a space where you're not well, nothing else around you is well either. And it doesn't matter what it is you're doing, it doesn't matter how well on the outside you're doing, those things become cover-ups. And so you're excelling in your job, but your personal life is all the way falling apart. You're excelling in your family, but your job is falling apart. You're on the outside looking in, people looking at you smiling on Facebook and think that everything's okay. They don't know that 5 minutes before you posted that picture, you had a whole breakdown. And so it's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stay that way. And so that's the biggest thing that I got from my own story, when I actually had to admit I am not okay. And when I got to that point and I said I am not okay, then that's when I was able to get things, and things opened up for me to get back to that space. But had I never had that, I could be walking around right now a whole time bomb and nobody would ever know it. Yeah. And people don't know what you don't say. And so just like you said, they have to be willing, when you say to somebody, no, I'm not okay, find the people that are ready to receive it, because everybody's not. And the people that you can have that conversation with, and the people that you do just kind of have to be like, oh, I'm good, I'm fine. And you go find the person that you can't be like, hey, look, for real, nah, today's not it. And you have to know where those people are and find them. So it's okay to not be, but it's not okay to stay there.
Yes, I love that. I absolutely love that. Tawana, tell us, what do you want people to take away from your chapter? Tawana, you there?
Yes. Yes. I would say I want people to take away I remember it was told to me by a person that says, you have to do the work on yourself, because you never know whose life might be dependent on you. So if you're not mentally strong, mentally well, you may not be able to hold that space for that person, and their life might depend on it. Right at the very beginning of this year, I was challenged with that. And I had to hold that space for a mom. And I'm glad I started doing the work for another mom just maybe a couple of weeks before this. before I was put in that spot. And I didn't know when I got that word. I think I was at church, and that's when it was like, you have to do the work. You have to make sure that you're right. So when you're met with that situation, you know how to handle it. And I was able to just stop and just be like, hey, let me pray with you. And I'm not trying to make this just a whole spiritual thing, but if I hadn't started doing the work and knowing that I could just say, hey, let me pray with you. It don't have to be perfect. Because that's like in my chapter, I talked a lot about people pleasing tendencies and wanting to be this and take on this, and it needed to be perfect. And so that prayer wasn't perfect, but that prayer was on point because it gave that moment. And you'll hear me talk a lot about moments. Moments matter. That moment mattered. And at that time, I didn't know what kind of space I was holding for that mom or what kind of state she was in. But she told me after the fact. And so that's why mental health really, this conversation is important. And you have to do the work. Like you literally, you have to do the work. You can't just sit and think that it's not, hey, I don't have an issue. That's for them other people to do. I don't need no therapy. I don't need this. Yeah, well, you just might, just try it. Try it. And we have to make it okay, especially for our community, our children, that it's okay. Like, hey, mama have to go. Hey, it's okay for you to go. And we just got to keep talking about it and making it okay that they can come for help. So, and we got to keep continuously doing the work.
Do the work.
We can stay strong for other people. So even with this is not my thing talking, but like I said, it was a call to action, and I got to come up out of that. I got to let people know, hey, like you said, I think Sis said, hey, you just post that picture and you don't know what kind of breakdown. I just lost my sister this week, but I couldn't stay in that spot. Like it's going on, but I can't stay in that spot because I got this going. People depending on me. I'm depending on me. And I know my sister suffered with mental health herself. Like I said, it's within the family. And I'm trying to help this generational curse or whatever it is being passed down. We're going to break it. And if it's not broken, we're going to continue to keep working through it. So That's what I want them to touch. We got to continuously do the work.
Do the work. I agree with do the work. You can't heal just sitting. You got to do the work. Absolutely. And last but not least, Rhiansel, what do you want people to take away from your chapter?
What I want people to take away from my chapter is, first and foremost, you matter. You matter. Healing matters. Mental health matters. We've been historically conditioned to think that we don't matter. And we've been told that we can focus. We've been taught how to be strong, how to suppress, but not how to heal. Mm-hmm. So I want those who read my chapter to know that your trauma, your scars do not define you. Your past does not dictate your future, and you have the power to change the narrative. It wasn't until I heard the two words in my head that says you matter that I began to say, I do matter. And I began to look at all of the messaging, that was affecting my psyches over the years. And that was creating my mental health issues. And when I began to understand that I had the power to change that, to turn that around, that, I could not only build a legacy, not only would I build a legacy, but I will be able to break generational curses. And that matters more than anything, because trauma crosses generations, and what is not addressed transfers. So I said to myself, I make the conscious choice to start breaking generational cycles. It starts with me. And then my prayer is that, my hope is that my generations, the generations after me, those who encounter me, that are around me, who hear my story, will be impacted in such a way that they will be able to evoke change in their own lives.
Absolutely. That's it. that is it. This is why we wrote the book, guys. So real quick, while you're there, tell us how to get in touch with you, and we are out of here, y'all. So I hope you guys enjoyed this hour with us. Tell us how to get in touch with you, Rhiansel.
I can be reached. I have a Yahoo account, and it is Rhiansel, REANTLEM Smith at yahoo.com. I also have a Facebook page, which is under my name, Rhiansel Smith.
Thank you. Tawana, how can we find you?
I can be reached at www.thechroniclesofblue.com. Also, I have Facebook and Instagram. And on Instagram, I can be reached at Tawana BJ, Future BCBA, and also Tawana Jones Wilson on Facebook.
Yeah. And Takia, how can we reach you?
Hi, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, both as Takia the Teacher, and also from my website, thereadywrite-her.com.
Yay. And Trina, how can we reach you?
So, website for the practice is the Rose Center BMT. It's the Rose Center -BMT.com. And then on Facebook and Instagram, if you search at the Rose Center BMT, you'll find my business pages as well. So you can find me on those modalities.
Thank you. Chandra, how can we find you?
You can find me right here on Facebook, Chandra Nicole, or you can go to the Urban Mom Society here on Facebook or Instagram.
Yay, Urban Mom Society. I love them. And Latanya, how can we find you?
You can reach me at Latanya Willett at yahoo.com. That's LatonyaWillett at yahoo.com. I'm also on Facebook under Latanya Willett. And also my business page is Latanya Brown Willett, where you'll find all the financial tidbits and just contact me.
So, y'all, I hope you enjoyed this tonight, because we have a serious need for mental health awareness. And I do understand that a lot of people have been conditioned to not go to therapy, or conditioned to say, you don't need therapy, you need Jesus, but you need them both. We've been conditioned to, if what happens in this house stays in this house. We want to break that. We want to tell you that mental health is real. Get the help that you need. Talk to somebody. Go to somebody. Surround yourself with positive people, right? All of that matters, and you matter. So these are the authors. We have Rhiansel Smith. We have Tawana Wilson. We have Takia Guthrie. Am I saying that right? I think I am. Gaither. See, I knew it was something. See, we have Latanya Willett, and we have Trina Rose Frazier, and myself, and then Chandra Nicole. Can't forget all of you all. So I want to thank each and every one of you all for tuning in, and I want to thank all of the authors for saying yes to this particular collaboration. I also want to let you all know that the audience, I want to let you all know that save the date, January the 22nd, 2022. I don't know the time yet, but it will be an afternoon event, and it will be an in-person event. I am having what we are calling the cover up, and it is going to talk about healing versus coping, and mental health versus mental ability. Do you have the mental ability to be the friend that listens and take all of that in that your friend is trying to tell you, right? Are you healing or are you just coping? Because a lot of us are coping. We have not healed. And there is a difference. So January the 22nd, 2022, please mark that in your calendars. We are going to have real conversations about mental health. We are going to heal before it's over. So I say to all of you all, thank you so very much for tuning in. Thank you again, authors, for being in this collaboration. And to everybody, good night. Good night, everybody.